Probably my favorite 2D RPG of all time would easily have to be Chrono Trigger.
Cooler than Final Fantasy?
The old ones, yes. Sorry.
Okay, I have to see this game then.
Definitely like Final Fantasy VII better.
What's it for?
It was originally released on Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
It was re-released on PS1, and then it was also ported over to the DS.
Oh, they should have put it on the on the new Super NES.
I know. Like that was like one of the ones that people were like, "Come on, no
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger." Chrono Trigger is amazing. I honestly, it's one of those games that I just go back to and play every few years. I'm gonna try to make this not a gushing about Chrono Trigger video though, or segment. We have, without any prior notice, a release of Chrono Trigger on Steam. Couple of issues with it. It's a port of the mobile version, which was released on iOS and Android back, I want to say, a couple years ago now. Didn't get good reviews then, and it's not getting good reviews now. I haven't. I have like all of the other releases, with the exception of the Super Nintendo version. Funny enough, I've got it on PS1 and DS. And I honestly do like the DS one the best.
Oh, I could get that.
Yeah, you could. You could probably find it for pretty cheap now too. And it's a great version of the game. The problem with the mobile version is that it kind of changed the layout and the format, and it made it very touch friendly. And basically, they've just ported that over to the Steam version, where instead of a touchscreen, you're using your mouse to click around. And apparently, it's not very it's not very interface friendly.
Yeah.
So there's also a couple of other things, of course, that were added, because since it is on Steam, you do have achievements, trading cards, and the Steam Cloud saving as a supported feature. So aside from the weird touch-based controls, which have found their way into this version, you have the font apparently has been updated, and it does not look like it fits the style of the game. You have a...
Is it Comic Sans?
No, it's not Comic thankfully. And you also have a filter that smooths out the pixels that you cannot turn on or off. Now, I actually, when I've delved into emulators, I kind of like to play a game where it kind of does like blend pixels together and make it look like a more graphically enhanced game. A lot of people do not like it though. They like to see their pixels on their screens, and they want it to be as sharp as possible. They don't like any of that. And the way around that is, you give people an option. You give them an option to turn smoothing on or off. Mm-hmm. This game doesn't have it. You have to play with the smoothing on. And according to the user reviews, it's not even good smoothing. So I would have an option with that too if I were playing it. They are also...
Is it out? It's not a thing yet, right?
No, it's out. It came...
The Steam version?
Oh, yes, okay. And there was no prior...
It was just like...
lead up. It's just like, hey, by the way, this is on Steam now. Which is telling.
They're not that proud of it.
They don't want to spend hardly anything on marketing for it.
Not very confident.
And if you download it before April 2nd, we are currently recording this on March 2nd, so you've got about a month, they will give you a free upgrade to the limited edition of the game, which includes 6 wallpapers that I'm sure are going to be shared immediately. A medley of 5 songs from the soundtrack, which I'm sure will be shared immediately. And digital liner notes from composer Yasunori Mitsuda. I don't know what that means,
but
I'm sure
awesome.
I'm sure that it will also be shared as soon as it comes out.
They're trying to sweeten the pot, Stephen. Come on.
There's also, and if you're a PC gamer, you probably like to go into your display settings and have it play at the resolution of your choosing. which it does, but it will only, you can't go in and tell it, hey, play at this resolution. It'll just play at the resolution that your monitor is already set to. Minor inconvenience, I think, but still, lack of polish is what that shows. So here's my thoughts. Here's why I wanted to even talk about this, because I think I have purchased one game on Steam before.
What would that be?
Plants vs. Zombies.
Good game.
It is a very good game. I get addicted to it every so often. Aside from that, though, I don't really play games on PC. I'm a console and a handheld gamer. That being said, I'm really disheartened to hear that Square Enix continuously mishandles Chrono Trigger. They only ever made one sequel to it. You can call it a sequel. It feels more like a spiritual successor because even though it takes place in the same world, it's completely different characters, and it really just, it has like certain, like there are fan theories about how it connects to Chrono Trigger, but
no real effort in the story to connect it.
Yeah, Chrono Cross is what it's called, and it's a very different
Is it fun?
experience. I like it. I've got it, and I enjoy playing it, but it's not Chrono Trigger, and it does not feel like a worthy sequel to it.
All it does is Chrono Trigger you because it's not Chrono Trigger.
So, a lot of people have been waiting, like, hey, can we get a third game in this franchise? Like, it just seems like a franchise that a lot of people love. But even when, and by the way, the DS version came out about a decade ago. So even though they have like occasionally like
acknowledged it.
Yeah, acknowledged it and re-released it and ported it and all that stuff. And with the DS version, they did add extra content, which wasn't all that good.
Yeah. But
I made myself play through it anyway. It's like, it honestly, it's like the worst part of the game. The added on content.
Yeah.
But that's another reason. So I remember when that version came out in 2008, a lot of people were thinking like, well, if they're going to be doing this, does this mean that they're going to possibly, is there going to be a sequel in the works or something? And it apparently didn't sell all that well on the DS, or didn't meet the sales expectations. And I want to say that some bigwig in Square Enix was asked about it, and he basically said, if they want a sequel, they need to buy the game. And he was basically saying, like, you need to buy this game again. Like, even if you've already played it for Super Nintendo or PS1, now you need to play it on the DS.
I think it's been long enough, buddy.
It's been,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's been long enough. And that, and when you do these things, like when you add extra content to a game, and the extra content is not par with what's already on there, or
why would it make people feel encouraged to want to play a new one?
Or you do this stuff where you just throw in the stuff that no one wants, and honestly, you're going to have a better experience playing on an emulated version of the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah.
You're not even trying at this point, and I'm sure you're gonna, if it doesn't sell well, you're gonna say the same thing. Oh, there's no point in investing in this franchise because no one wants to buy it. It's like, no, you keep doing things to mess it up.
Everyone else cares, you don't.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
exactly. So I don't know why. I don't know what they're thinking whenever they do something with Chrono Trigger. It's normally just bad. But yeah, I know it's one of those games where I definitely have I know myself and a lot of gamers have a huge nostalgia factor for it. It is very much a product of the times, and it's one of those games, like if you played in your childhood, like it just takes you back to simpler times.
Yeah.
When in gaming.
That's what I feel about Final Fantasy, even though it was like a year ago. It's such a simple game. But I guess it's safe to say that Steven is Chrono Triggered by Square Enix's mishandling of Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Triggered. I need a Chrono...
like a meme.
I need a Chrono safe space is what I need.
The original game on the Super NES is your Chrono safe space.
That's my Chrono safe space.
No one can touch me here.
No, Square Enix can't get to this version of the game.